It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you, and welcome to this special edition of Science Bowl. The two teams you're about to meet are vying for the chance to become the first of our final four in this year's elementary competition. A great game ahead. Let's meet today's teams. First, from Forest Heights Elementary School, would you please say hello to Tamaya Barrett, Jabari Champion, and Tamaya Bell. And from Robert Goddard Montessori School, say hello to Brianna Wynn, Michael Lynch, and Aforba K and Wake. And now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on the Science Bowl, our game board reflects question difficulty. Easier questions on the left, 5 and 10 tougher ones, 15, 20, ultimately 25, the toughest of them all. Both teams start out at 50 points. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. And as we were just saying, the team that emerges victorious today will be the first of our semifinalists, the first of the final four. Let's make sure everything works properly. Let's go to the red team, Jabari. Looks and sounds good, that buzzer. Good luck to you, to Jemiah and Tamaya. And Mike, would you try yours? All right, green team looks like it's ready and raring to go. Forba K and Brianna and Mike have a good game as well. Are we ready? Yeah. Let's do it. I should say congratulations. Very few teams make it to this juncture. That testifies to how good you are. And I know we're going to have a good game today. We go alphabetically F before R. So Forest Heights, Jabari, let's play.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, it's hard here in Maryland to grow parsley and sage and mint in the winter. But if you go to the supermarket, you can buy these kinds of flavorful plants in the produce section. Forest Heights.
So mint plants, like cilantro?
I wanted to know what they are. Robert Goddard, what kinds of plants are mint and parsley and sage? You can't grow them here in Maryland in the winter, but you can buy them in the supermarket in the produce section.
Pass it to a fork, okay?
Herbs?
Herbs, that's what I want to hear. Yes, those are herbs, and you can buy them in those little plastic packets there. Good. Green.
Let's get physical for 10.
Get physical for 10 minutes. Teams, in the recent blizzard, people sitting in their cars idling with the tailpipes blocked by snow risk dying because this gas will accumulate in their cars. Robert Goddard.
Carbon dioxide.
No, sir. Good try. Forest Heights, name the deadly gas that can build up in a car whose tailpipe is blocked. It is carbon monoxide. CO is the formula. Try again, Green.
Dateline for 10.
Dateline for 10 points. Teams, the Army Corps of Engineers, in order to build a new bridge, is about to turn off all the water flowing over this iconic cataract on the border between New York. Jabari?
Hoover Dam?
Not Hoover Dam. This iconic cataract on the border between New York and Canada. The Army Corps of Engineers is going to turn off all the water flowing over it to build a bridge.
Niagara Falls.
That's it. Good. Green. Go.
Zoo Parade for 10.
Zoo Parade for 10 points. Teams, if you go into a court and everything is wrong and you have no hope as a defendant because everything is crooked, that court is named for this iconic Australian marsupial with, yes, Robert Goddard.
Kangaroo.
A kangaroo. It's called a kangaroo court. Yes, Green.
Science Potpourri for 10.
Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, if you're a dog owner, Did you want to say something?
No.
Okay.
It slept.
All right, we'll let that go. We'll try again. If you're a dog owner, that doesn't mean you bring it, but I understand your enthusiasm. We'll try again. If you're a dog owner, you might take issue with this, but a writer recently said that because dogs can manipulate our behavior, they are actually like creatures like leeches and tapeworms. Robert Goddard.
Parasites?
Yes, they are social parasites. Yes. Boy, that doesn't ring true with me. Go green.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, oatmeal, rice and beans, peanut butter, those foods are said to stick to these bones even though they are nowhere close to the digestive system. Forrest Heights?
Ribs.
Yeah, ribs. Tamaya, she's heard her mother say that. That's going to stick to your ribs. It's going to stay with you all morning instead of just that donut. Thank you. Good answer. Red.
Soup parade for 15.
Soup parade for 15 points. Teams, one scientist said that God must have been especially fond of these kinds of insects because there are more of them than any other. Jabari.
Ants.
Not ants, Robert Goddard. More of these insects than any other. None of them have ever gone extinct, and they're represented today by ladybugs. What you got?
Beetles?
Yes, indeed, they are beetles. God really loved beetles. He made so many different kinds of them, according to that scientist. Go green.
Let's get physical for 15.
Get physical for 15 points. Thank you, Afore Bouquet, for your assist on that. Recently, they did an experiment with a lizard, and they presented him with a glass jar with a little plastic cap on the top and a tasty bug inside. The lizard figured out that if he used his snout, Jabari, what were you going to tell me?
So if he uses snout, he can get the bug.
How?
By finding where his place is.
Finding his places with sense of smell.
Nope. Good try. This lizard was able to get that bug out of that container with the plastic cap by using his snout as what kind of simple machine?
A lever?
A lever, absolutely right. Put his snout up there, kept pushing at it, popped it off, ate the bug. Good. Nicely done. Green.
Dateline for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, January 28th of this year was the 30th anniversary of the explosion of this space shuttle that carried a school teacher aboard. Name that space shuttle. Forrest Heights. It was all over the news. Why did you ring? What did you want to tell me? Robert Goddard, name the space shuttle that blew up on January 28, 1986 that was carrying an American school teacher. Challenger. Go again, green. Ooh, the buzzer says not yet. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back in just a moment to talk to our teams about themselves and their schools and play more Science Bowl. See you then.
Simple moments are what make every day count.
Be out there. Be out there.
Be out there. Be out there.
Time was, kids did what came naturally. Spending free time running barefoot through the grass, wading knee-deep in streams, climbing to the tallest branch. But today, American kids are more likely found texting, watching TV, or gazing at a computer screen. They spend more than 7 hours in front of electronic media. Something essential has been lost: childhood's connection to the natural world. That's why National Wildlife Federation created the Be Out There movement. Kids move indoors causes a host of problems, from obesity to ADHD. But outdoor play can go a long way to improving kids' health, body, mind, and spirit. It helps them stay fit, enhances creativity and attention spans, and could even make them better students. Do your part. Be a part of Be Out There. There's a reason why they call it the great outdoors. Learn more at beoutthere.org.
Welcome back to Science Bowl. Good game going on here today. The first of our semifinalists will be determined at the end of the next questioning period here. Right now, it looks like Robert Goddard has a lead, but certainly not insurmountable. We'll get back to the game in a moment. Let's talk to the players. If you missed them when they were on here before, well, let's kind of fill in that gap. Forest Heights, nice to have you here today. Jabari, tell us about Forest Heights. Where is Forest Heights?
Oxon Hill, Maryland.
Oxon Hill, yeah. You're not too far from the new National Harbor, right? It's a beautiful spot down there. And your principal's here today, isn't he?
Yes.
Dr. Brookover, and boy, he is just delighted. No Forest Heights team has ever made it this far in the competition, so you guys should be really proud of that. And who's the coach of your team?
Mrs. Hinton.
Mrs. Hinton, and she is over the moon about this as well. She's very happy about you. I know how hard that Stephanie has worked. Thank you, Stephanie, for all your hard work, and Chester for your support of this team. And Jabari, did you have any alternates on your team?
Yes.
Who are they?
Levante and Xavier.
Wonderful. And they're out there. They're ready to cheer for you. They're yelling answers. Too bad we can't hear them up here, but you guys are doing a good job. Forest Heights, you told me before that your teachers are very engaging, right? They pull you into the lesson. And do you have some extracurricular activities at the school that you like to participate in?
The Science Bowl.
Science Bowl, yeah. Are there any athletics at your school?
After school?
After school, yeah. Nothing.
No.
Okay. But I know sometimes you play sports in your own communities, and someday you want to be a
Veterinarian.
veterinarian, yeah. And you got the dog at home, and you got what else?
Cat.
That's right. Wonderful. I'm sure you're a good custodian because you're a good captain, and I know you're going to have a good second half. Tamaya, nice to have you here today. How do you know so much science? Because you do.
I study at home a lot and I go to school.
You do. And I know you like to read science books too.
Yes.
And boy, that's been a big help. So you are tailor-made for this program. And you want to be a chemical engineer someday.
Yes.
That's right. That's just wonderful. I can see you being successful at that. And Jemiah, nice to have you here today. And you're thinking about maybe being a doctor or a politician, right?
Yes.
President Jemiah has a nice ring to it. Yeah. If you were president, what's one of the first things you might do? Have you thought about that?
Yes.
What would you do?
I would make homes for the homeless people.
It's wonderful because there's so many people, and sometimes we don't even want to look their way. We would prefer that they don't exist, but they do. They're real people and they need help. It's wonderful. I'll vote for you. I'll vote for you. I see you're a safety patrol, and I know you do a nice job down there. And where do you patrol?
In the hallways.
In the hallways. Yeah, I know they must respect you and look up to you. Let's go over and talk to the Robert Goddard team. Michael, you're all wearing blue over there. Is that your school uniform?
No. This is school spirit wear.
Ah, school spirit. And yours is a Montessori school. What is, for people who don't know, what is Montessori?
Montessori is basically the learning strategy where everyone gets to learn at their own pace. And so if you're in a kindergarten classroom, but you're really on a first grade level, you can learn at that rate rather.
That's just perfect. So kind of customized education depending on where you are. I think that's wonderful. Who's the principal down there?
Miss Demi.
Wonderful. And your wonderful coach is Miss Jellison, and she is out there rooting for you. She works so hard to get you ready here. Lisa, thanks for all you do for the team and for us by helping us judge, of course, when your team is not here. Best thing about Robert Goddard?
That the teachers don't leave you behind if you don't know something, and they push for you to do your best.
Absolutely right. Yeah, because you've got to have a bar. You know, don't just do mediocre. Teachers know what you're capable of, and it's great that they push you. First names of your many alternates.
Okay. Jared, Chidera, Alanis, Lita, Ginger, Snowden, Quinn, Jordan, Sadie, Layla.
All 10 of them. All right. Too bad we can't give you points for that, but you did a nice job, and they'll all be out with Miss Jellison in a few moments here. Someday, Mike, what do you want to do?
I want to be a physicist.
Physicist. You'd be good at that. And Brianna, you want to be a chemist someday.
Yeah.
And I know you know the periodic table backwards and forwards. There's even a song about the periodic table, which is really neat. How'd you get interested in that?
I got interested in that when I heard that when you could discover a new element, and then you're like they could put your last name in it, and I could have an element of my own.
Yeah, so you would be immortalized, you know, like Einsteinium or Mendelevium, you know, and what are you going to call your element? Brionium? That sounds pretty good. Playing a good game here, and you have a nice spirit too. And Aforbeke, you seem to know an awful lot about science too. How do you come by all that knowledge?
I guess I just learned in school.
Yeah, boy, you have been the perfect student because you really have, you come here with all that knowledge and you have an enthusiasm about the game. And I know you, among the 4 things you want to be, paleontologist, chef, what do you cook? What do you like to cook?
I like to cook basically breakfast because I like pancakes.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Most important meal of the day. I could see you being successful whatever you choose. Let's get back to our game. 120, Robert Goddard, 64 Heights. Lots of points to give away. Last correct answer came from the green team, so Michael, start us out, please.
Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, nobody yet has figured out if the stripes on a zebra are meant to confuse predators or to repel insects or help to control temperature, which means that all of those ideas, if you were in a scientific experiment, would be known as these. Robert Goddard?
Variables?
Not variables, no. All of those ideas, Forrest Heights, about what zebra stripes can do in a scientific experiment would be considered these.
Hypotheses.
That's right. They are all hypotheses. They are educated guesses. Nice comeback. Okay, Red, come on. Let's go.
Body systems for 15.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, we know that CPR helps to start stopped hearts. Well, the new way of teaching CPR says don't be giving breaths anymore to the victim. Just concentrate on the pushes. So what letter, C, P, or R, Robert Goddard?
The C?
No. Forrest Heights, which of the letters, C, P, or R, could we now drop because we're not breathing anymore for the victim?
R.
No. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation. P is the pulmonary for bleeding. Did you say? He said R. We're looking for P. Okay, all right. Try again, Red.
Green things for 15.
I'm sorry.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Despite what a lot of people think, if you take a bottle of water, a spritzer, and you spray your plants indoors, you are not increasing this in the room. Forrest Heights.
Humidity.
That's right. Humidity it is. Tamaya, go.
Zoo parade for 20.
Zoo parade for 20 points. Teams, your question is a visual question. Look at the monitor in the studio, please. This hawksbill turtle and other members of its species is in trouble. Because of global warming, the little animals that it ate in the reef are no longer there, and now it has become strictly a vegetarian instead of being what that it was before, Jabari?
Herbivore.
Nope. Robert Goddard, it is now strictly vegetarian, where before, when it ate animals, it was a what?
Omnivore?
An omnivore, yes. It was able to do both. That's why I said now it is strictly a vegetarian. Listen carefully. Go green.
Let's
come
get
back.
Physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams, scientists now think that the most promising place in our solar system that is most like Earth is Enceladus, which is the 6th largest moon on this 6th planet from the sun. Forrest Heights.
Jupiter.
No, sir. Robert Goddard.
Saturn.
Saturn is right. Yes, go green.
Dateline for 20.
Dateline for 20 points. Teams, when Einstein discovered that the speed of light is a constant, he refuted what other scientists' laws of motion. Robert Goddard.
Newton's.
Isaac Newton, absolutely right. His 3 laws of motion. Good answer. Green.
Potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points is a visual question, multiple choice as well. Look at the monitor in the studio. 98% of our homes contain these creatures. These are book lice, and you can see them there eating the bindings of a book. Which of the following scientific specialties would study these book lice? Jabari?
Anthropologist.
Not an anthropologist. I said it was a multiple choice question. Let me give you the choices. Would it be an entomologist, an ornithologist, or a herpetologist?
The first one.
The entomologist,
Yeah.
absolutely right. That is the bug specialist. Good answer. Good. Green. Nice try, Jabari.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, your question is as follows. When the sap in the maple tree starts to rise and we can taste the maple syrup already, it is coming up, the sap is, in the tree through what X-initialed vascular tubes? Robert Goddard.
Xylem.
Xylem is right. Yes, green. Thank you, Bouquet.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 20 points. Teams, this is shameful. In China, they keep bears in cages because every so often they milk them for bile juice, which is made in the liver and stored in this organ for 20 points. Robert Goddard.
Kidney.
Not the kidney. Good try. The bile juice made in the bear's liver is stored in this other organ. Can you name it for 20 points, Forrest Heights? Give me an organ.
Stomach.
Not the stomach, the gallbladder. The gallbladder. Try again, green.
Let's get physical for 25.
Let's get physical for 25. Big one in that category, teams. This is right up Brianna's alley. The periodic table of elements has all of the elements' symbols, and then they have the atomic numbers up there. The atomic number that is listed tells you the number of what subatomic part?
Protons.
Robert Goddard.
Protons.
Protons that you find in the nucleus. Yes, indeed. Green.
Dateline for 25.
Dateline for 25 points. Teams, the rapper B.O.B. recently came out and said the Earth is really flat. Okay, I hadn't asked a question. What do you want to tell me, Jabari? What did you want to say?
That the Earth is really like round.
No, Robert Goddard, the rapper B.O.B. came out and said the world is actually flat. And as Jabari said, we know that it's round. Refuting that was what famous astrophysicist who is the host of that popular TV program, Cosmos? For 25 points, can you tell me?
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
That's who it is. Good answer. Good. Green.
Zoo Parade for 25.
Zoo Parade for 25. Big one in that category. Teams right now, there is a plague of locusts that look like grasshoppers that are invading the country of Argentina. You can't go and spray them because they're flying all over the place. So the workers have gone where the locusts are still wingless. They go through incomplete metamorphosis. So that stage in their development is not the pupa, it's not the larva, it is this stage that begins with the letter N. Must begin with the letter N. Come on, Forrest Heights, you need this.
Newborn.
Not newborn. What is that stage that is wingless in the incomplete metamorphosis of those locusts, Mike? It's called a nymph. N-Y-M-P-H. Try again. Green.
Science potpourri for 25.
Science potpourri for 25 points. Recently, New Yorker said, what was that? Was that an earthquake? And the USGS says, no, no, no. It was just a sonic boom. USGS stands for the U.S. What Survey? What is the G? Robert Goddard.
Geological.
Geological Survey. Exactly right. Where?
Let's get physical for 5.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, when the Washington Capitals hockey team wasn't playing so well recently, one writer wrote that they were this, even though they weren't covered with oxidized iron. Even though they weren't covered with oxidized iron, the writer said that the Caps were what, Jabari?
Iron Man.
No, not Iron Man. Robert Goddard, they were really what?
Rusty.
Rusty, yeah, they were rusty. Good. Green.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25. Big one in that category. Tough question. Give me 2 of the best pieces of evidence that scientists have if they're trying to find out what green things were like millions of years ago. What are 2 very good pieces of evidence that let you know what it was like back then?
Fossils and imprints.
Basically, those are synonymous. Good try. Forrest Heights, can you give me 2 things that let scientists know what plants were like millions of years ago? What kind of evidence would they look for?
Soil and organisms.
Not soil and organisms. Fossils was one. Also pollen grains and tree rings that you can count. Try again, green.
Body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25 points. Teams, when a female animal protects and nurtures her babies, that is known as what M-initialed kind of behavior? M-initialed behavior, Forest Heights.
Mothering.
Not mothering. Good try.
Maternal.
Maternal, yes, the opposite of paternal. Good. Where next?
Zoo parade for 5.
Zoo parade for 5 points. Teams, during the recent blizzard, the creature having the most fun was this one at the National Zoo by the name of Shan Shan. Robert Goddard.
Panda?
The panda, yeah, rolling down the side of the hill, just having a great time. All right. Speaking of great times, we hope you had one today. We'll be back with a wrap-up of today's game in just a moment. It looks like Robert Goddard is going to the semifinals. We'll be right back.
If you're like most families, you probably have video game fans in your home. But not every game is right for every kid, which is where the ESRB ratings come in. They help parents make informed decisions for their kids. And there's an easy-to-use mobile app that gives you detailed info on specific game ratings. Video game consoles have parental controls that you can set to block certain games by age rating, so they get all the fun, and you get peace of mind.
I tell people I have 3 kids, one of them's adopted, I just don't know which one.
I can't imagine having to be in a birth mother's position to make that choice.
You know, I was kind of just asking her, you know, what is your motivation? Why are you doing this? And she looked at me and she said, because you can give my son a life that I could not.
We always tell her, thank you. He is such a blessing to us.
Every day is just a ray of sunshine from him. So we're Chanda and Brian, and we chose adoption.
Welcome back to Science Bowl. Boy, we were so anticipating this game, and we were not disappointed. 6 great players here today. This is a lot of pressure. They acquitted themselves well. We're proud of all 6 of them. Our final tally today is Forest Heights 90, Robert Goddard 330. What a game you played. You are headed to the semifinals. Brianna and Michael and a 4 bouquet. And look at all the alternates back there. Jared, Lita, Ginger, Alanis, Jadera, and Miss Jellison, congratulations. You have earned this. And you guys, you've never made it this far in the competition. You should just be puffing out your chest to Maya and Jabari and Jemiah and Xavier and who am I missing back there? Levante. One of the important parts of this team here. Miss Jackson, Dr. Brookover, thank you for being here today. You really made the day of all these young people. We loved having you here, and we loved having you as well. We'll see you next time on the Science Bowl. Bye-bye.